When we pray, we always ask ourselves, when, or how fast, or how soon am I going to receive my answer? Am I going to get what I am praying for? Did God receive my prayer? Should I continue in prayer over the issue? Well, in this lesson, we will answer the questions. As long as we know that faith is the key to having our prayers answered, we should never question when, how, and why, because prayer is carried on the wings of faith. Matthew 21, verse 22. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. When we pray, we want our prayers to be answered immediately. And yes, sometimes prayers are answered immediately as God sees fit. Daniel 9, verse 21 to 23. Yea, whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to shew thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. Daniel's prayer here was answered as he was still speaking before God. So are many of our prayers answered just like Daniel's. But most of the times, we fail to see it. God answers prayers. We have to be observant and see how many of our prayers are immediately answered. However, sometimes our prayers are answered after delay. Luke 18, verse 2-7, saying, There was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, Avenge me of mine adversary. And he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, Though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubled me, will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. And the Lord said, Hear what the unjust judge saith. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? When we see a delay in receiving answers to our prayers, we should exhibit the character of the widow in Luke 18, verse 2-7. She continually nagged the judge until he took action. So will God, as long as we continue to forward our petitions in faith. So no matter how long the delay, we should continue with thanksgiving in our hearts. Philippians 4, verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made unto God. The delay should not deter us, but we should continue in prayer and watch in the same spirit with thanksgiving. Colossians 4, verse 2. Continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving. 3. As earthly parents who really love their children, we will give them what is best for them rather than what they cry for. So God sometimes answers our prayers different from our desires. When you pray for a promotion because you think you deserve it, but God answers you by keeping you in the same position, because he sees you still need to learn more before you are elevated. You are not to be discouraged from trusting God. We are to trust God no matter how he answers our prayers, and we should continue praying. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 8 and 9. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the infirmities that the power of Christ may rest upon me. When we pray sincerely and faithfully, God often gives far more than we ever thought of asking for. He knows what's good for us. He knows what we want before we even ask Him. He knows what we are capable of, how much blessings we are capable of handling at a time. Thus many times we are surprised by His bounteous blessings. Ephesians 3 verse 20. Now unto Him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Never worry about your prayer being answered. As long as you follow God's will, as long as you follow what He says in His commandments and ask according to His will, He will answer. 1 John 5 verse 14. And this is the confidence that we have in Him, that if we ask anything according to His will, He heareth us. Whoever obeys God can be rest assured that God answers his prayers no matter what. 1 John 3 verse 22. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of Him, because we keep His commandments and do those things that are pleasing in His sight. He will definitely send His angels to answer our prayers before Him. Acts 12 verse 5 to 11. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. And when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with two chains. The keepers before the door kept the prison. And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side, and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. And the angel said unto him, Gird thyself, and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he saith unto him, Cast thy garment about thee, and follow me. And he went out, and followed him, and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. When they were past the first and the second ward, they came unto the iron gate that led unto the city, which opened to them of his own accord. And they went out, and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. God hears our prayers. God will never leave us alone. He will always listen to prayers of faith. Never stop praying, and never doubt God.